Hello students, today we are going to discuss object oriented concept using C++. So one by one we will see what are the concepts in object oriented. So C++ is an object oriented language. So in that some concepts are there, we will discuss. So first concept is storage classes. As we know, storage class is nothing but it is used for defining lifetime, visibility, scope, life period, garbage value and a memory for the memory space for the variables. So whatever variables you declare in C++ language, every variable has some storage class. That storage class is used to define lifetime, scope, default value and memory space for the variable. So one by one we will see what are the storage classes, how it will define. So there are four types of storage classes in C++. They are automatic, register, static and external. So what is automatic storage class? Automatic storage class is nothing but it will be defined. It is used for defining the variables by using auto keyword. The auto keyword is used for defining the automatic storage class variables. So this automatic storage class has some scope. That scope will be, the scope of the variable will be visible in the local declaration. Where you have declared, there only you can see the variables. And lifetime is there only it will be visible. Anywhere it cannot be visible. Globally it is not visible. And the default value is 0. 0 is the default value for the automatic storage class. How to declare automatic storage class? This is the example. By this you can declare. Use auto keyword in front of your variable and then data type and then variable name. So if you don't give any value to this variable, default value will be given by automatic storage class as 0. So this is about automatic storage class. Register storage class. Register storage class is similar to automatic storage class. Where it scope will be visible in local declaration and lifetime is also in local declaration, and also the default value for register storage class is 0. So automatic and register storage class are similar to each other, but the only difference is that automatic storage class variables will be stored in CPU in memory, whereas register storage class variables will be stored in the CPU registers. This will be done in registers, this will be done in memory. So that is the difference between automatic and register storage class. Example is same like that only. Use register keyword in front of your variable, data type and your variable name and give some value. If you don't give any value, 0 is the default value given. Next is static storage class. Static storage class is done by using the keyword static. It is located globally and anywhere you can access it. Lifetime is anywhere throughout the program. And the default value given is garbage value. Garbage value is nothing but some wastage values will be given. If you don't access any value, garbage value will be coming and placing. So static is the keyword for static storage class, variable name and some garbage value. Now external storage class. External storage class are used for declaring the variables by using the keyword extern. Extern and it is similar to same static storage class. We can use everywhere in the program. It is visible throughout the program and the default value given is garbage value. So this is the example for external storage class. So there are 4 storage classes. Now next is differences between C and C++. So C++ we have learnt and C also we have learnt. So just we'll go through this tabular form. What are the differences? So C language was developed in the year 1972 by Dennis Ritchie at AT&T Bell Laboratories, whereas C++ was developed in the year 1980 by Jarnes Trostrup. So Dennis Ritchie is the inventor of C, Jarnes Trostrup is the inventor of C++. C is the subset of C++ language, whereas C++ is superset of C language. C is only procedural oriented language, whereas C++ is both procedure and object oriented language. And C is function oriented, only functions can be written in C language, but whereas C++ it is an object oriented language. All the functions, all the variables are called through object. And next, data and functions are separate. So here in C, data and functions should be separated through each other, but in C++, data and functions should be written with each other in the class. So in the class you have to collect all the data members and functions. C does not support information hiding, whereas C++ support data hiding in the form of encapsulation. So encapsulation is a process where you can hide the data. And function overloading, operator overloading is not possible in C language. Function and operator overloading is possible in C++ with the help of polymorphism concept. And next, scanf and printf functions are used in C language, whereas cin, cout functions are used in C++ language. C does not support these all features like polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance, whereas C++ supports all those features. Here main function can be called from other functions, but here main function should be called at only one time. It cannot be called similar like C language. Here inheritance is not possible in C language. In here inheritance is possible. So inheritance is not possible in C. Inheritance is possible in C++. Here exception handling is not supported. Here exception handling is purely supported. Now data members and member functions. So what is data member and what are member functions? So data member is nothing but variables which are declared are called as data members. Whatever variables you declare in C++ programs, those are called as data members. So example you can see here int a. Here a is a variable which is called as data member. B is a variable which is called as data member. Now next member function. Member function is nothing but methods functions which you declare in the C++ language, those are called as member functions. So example you can see here, and remember that always your member function should start with the access specifier as public access specifier should be used. So here example public access specifier and your function name is fun name. This is the member function. In front of that you have to use return type. So this is your member function. Now object oriented concepts. Object oriented concepts first comes under class. Class is nothing but it is a blueprint to the object. So what class consists of, it is a collection of features and properties. So whatever any object which has some features and characteristics and properties, that you should collect together and should mention in the class. So that is called as class. Class is a user defined data type. So class is a collection of features and properties of an object. So it is also said as blueprint of the object. So whatever collection of objects is called as class. Example you can see here. Here I have created a class as a student. Always class should be created with the help of class keyword in the small letters. And then you can mention the name as class name. Here I have created student. Student has some properties and some functions. So here my properties are like name, ID and marks. Here three properties are there for one student, and function is what? Get details. So these all properties and functions should enclose in a class. So class is a collection of properties and functions of an object. So for an object some properties will be there and some functions will be there. All together is called as a class. Now object is nothing but it is a real world entity. Real world entity is called as object. So every entity has some features, has some state and behavior, that is called as object. So how to create object? Like this, your class name followed with the help of object name. So this is called as object. With the help of this object, all the functions can be called into the main function. Now what is inheritance? As we discussed, C++ is supporting inheritance concept. So inheritance is nothing but the capability of acquiring the properties, same properties and features from one class to the another class. If you are using two classes, so same properties, similar properties can be acquired from one class to another class, then it is called as inheritance. Example like parent child, parent son. So parent properties will be coming into the son properties. So this is called as inheritance. Acquiring the same properties from one class to the another class is called as inheritance. So here first class is called as subclass, or you can say base class, or you can say super class also. Another class is called as derived class or child class or subclass. Here two classes will be there. So first is subclass is also called as derived class or child class, which will acquire the property. Superclass is nothing but base class from where the properties are taken, inherited, is called as superclass. Reusability is the main important feature in the inheritance. So inheritance supports the reusability concept. Reusability is nothing but same features are again using with the help of inheritance concept. So with the help of this you can see here one small diagram is shown for inheritance. Here I have used an animal class. So in this animal class the three childs are deriving, that is cat, dog and cow. So with the help of inheritance you can show this. This is a pictorial representation of inheritance. Here cat, dog, cow are the derived classes, animal is the base class. Now next polymorphism. Polymorphism word itself represent polymorphism. Poly means many, morphism is nothing but forms. So one object can have many forms is called as polymorphism. Example, a person has many forms at different situations. Like a person comes a person at home will be represented as father, husband or son, but where at work purpose he will be represented as employee, but when he go for shopping purpose he will be represented as customer and all. So same person having different behavior at different situations, that is called as polymorphism. So when one task is performed by different ways, it's called as polymorphism. So in C++, polymorphism is done in two types. So that is operator overloading and function overloading. Operator overloading is nothing but same operator is used in different situation, that is called as operator overloading. Function overloading is also same like that, only single function is used at different task, that is called as function overloading. So this is about the polymorphism. Encapsulation is nothing but wrapping up of the data and information into a single unit is called as encapsulation. Wrapping up of data and information. Data is nothing but raw fact, information is nothing but processed fact. These two you have to wrap up into the single unit, then it is called as encapsulation. So binding together data and information is called as encapsulation. Example, capsule, tablet, capsule in medicinal field. Capsule is having two parts, one is for data and one is for information. That's it. Abstraction is nothing but hiding of the data. Hiding the data is called as abstraction. So hiding, how to hide the data, like internal details will be hidden and functionality should be shown, is called as abstraction. Like if you are sending a message through your mobile phone, so if you are sending a SMS to your mobile phone, whatever content is there, that will be hidden, that will be going and it will be transferring. But how the process is going on inside the mobile, how the cells are activating and how the transmission is run, that will be hidden. Only the outer part is shown, internal part is hidden. That process is called as abstraction. Hiding internal details and showing functionality is known as abstraction. Example, sending SMS through your mobile phone. That's it. It's completed. Thank you students. Do share, like, subscribe and comment my